Good morning, good afternoon and good evening from wherever you are in the world. This is the AMS2 Community Cup and my name is Cascais. Tonight on the second server, it may be the second server, but the talent on show tonight thanks to the random driver draw that is happening every round here, thanks to J-Turn being an absolute menace as far as the organisation is concerned. In a very good way, obviously. We have some of the very, very fastest drivers in the championship in this race tonight. People the likes of Tex, Racilla, Evil Noodle, Grandpa Bear has had incredible bouts of speed over the years, as well as Rap Trenell for the RPM team, who is another one to be looking out for at the. You have missed nothing of the qualifying session so far. As you can see, 15 minutes was how we started. And thanks to AMS2 having an intrigue as far as trying to spectate these races or commentate these races is concerned, it's just a little bit of fettling that I needed to do before we could get on to the action. One blast completed, then the tyres up to temperature, and the drivers will be using every inch of the rubber that they possibly can to get an opening bout, a banker lap, if you will, into the timings. As we can see already, Evil Noodle, who was the first out of the pit lane in that beautifully turned out Marlborough livery. Yeah, big old cut there. I think that may be an invalidated lap. Doesn't look like it at the moment. Let's see as he comes down to the final corner around Parabolic at Ayrton Senna. Across the line, and Tex goes to the top of the timing screens, with Evil Noodle having a poor first sector. Looks as though it didn't quite get the toe out of the final corner of his warm-up lap. But a decent time to start off his gambit and plenty more opportunities to find the rest of his pace. As you can see, 1 minute 12, 1 minute 13s are the fastest times being set here. So in the 15-minute session, well, technically speaking, we could slow the whole session, shorten the whole qualifying session, because it's not going to take very long to get some very, very quick laps going in this session. Rap Trenell as well, getting just a little banker lap in place. There's still a couple of drivers not yet left the pits, and all these drivers are going to have to be aware of the aerodynamic effect of these cars. Dirty Great Big, and let's talk about those cars for just a second. Dirty Great Big V12s in the middle of these Formula chassis, and a little bit of a push off for Raptor on the outside. I don't know who that was trying to get past. Where's the auto director think we should be going? It was Slayer that was on the outside trying desperately to find some space. It looks as though Tex is going faster through the first sector. Let's jump on board with the... Try that one. Jump on board with the Curb Clippers driver, just to appreciate exactly how quick this Estoril circuit that we haven't mentioned as yet in its more modern form is being appreciated. It looks as though it looks like a very quick lap at the moment. He's going to come around the final corner, cross the line as he comes down now, and that is, I'd say it's a couple of hundredths off, but it wasn't a valid lap. And that's going to be another driver back to the pits to try and get a new set of boots on and set these blisteringly fast hot lap times. It looks like no, it did count. It did count. Yeah, so just a little bit slow to update for the tower, but 8 thousandths of a second separating first and second at the moment, and the rest of the pack are all similarly close. A bit of grouping around the 1.3 seconds, and a big old group around the 2.5 second group. This is going to be a very tight race of a few packs of cars, it looks like, through, of course, this race. And as you can probably tell, it's not exactly a wide track, so plenty of opportunities to attempt your pass. But are you going to be able to actually capitalise on it? Curb Clipper, no, AMS2 car of Racezilla in the half Curb Clippers livery, just to confuse everybody today. Coming out of the final corner, has done his fastest first sector. He's on par for his second sector. This could be some good positions. Fourth onto the second row for the AMS2 driver. First, the AMS2 drivers at the moment, it looks as though, we just have a quick look, G-Bear has not set a lap as yet. Model 1 has the V2, this is the V10. Perfect, thank you very much, Dud. I did make a note of the cars using. So, a cacophony of noises from different generations of F1 cars then? Or am I missing that again? Because if I remember correctly, there was a restriction on how many drivers can go into each car. Boy, it's a complicated one here at the moment. Jerry for the SRGP team in the pits. It doesn't look as though anyone's going super fast at the moment. A few drivers matching their personal bests. Evil Noodle, yeah, back into the pits as well. So a lot of drivers dropping into the pits, but no one really going faster at the moment. So, about halfway through the qualifying session, let's have a run through as... yeah, JK was already there. We'll have a run through the standings as they sit, but obviously these things will perhaps unroll as the rubber runs down. No McLarens allowed. That was the one that I was aware of. So, provisionally, with 6 minutes 50 to go, JK holds that provisional pole position. Tex still in the pits for the Curb Clippers team in second position, just exited to make his final run. Statue 1232, another driver that we didn't mention at the outset, has been extremely fast in different disciplines around the AMS2 Community Cup. Racezilla for AMSU, first of the AMSU cars in fourth position. The second row on the grid, third row for Slayer 72, the driver that we are watching right now, coming round towards sector 3. It's a very wide entry, but that could be the drive that he needs off of the corner. Salminen in sixth position. Again, provisionally, Brusata just gone back to the pits to get a fresh set of boots on that RRC car. Evil Noodle in 8th, 9th for Signal, 10th for Tom Goodwrench, Jerry in 11th, Dustin in 12th position, 13th for Lima Salamento, Dorocco Mauro, a new name that I am not recognising at the moment here under the RRC banner. Pro for 10/10ths, another beautifully turned out livery for the 10/10ths team as well, or half of a livery for the 10/10ths team, is 16th, not having as much of a good time as he's had before in the MSU CC. And Glenn Alves for Curb Clippers in 17th. I believe that's a third car. I could also be entirely wrong. Roy 33 in the pits at the moment, having set a couple of laps, 4 seconds off the pace. And Raptor NL having a difficult time with a 7 sec off the pace lap. Well, that was the tiniest of mistakes there, with Grandpa Bear also not setting a lap time. Important that he does set a lap time, because I'm in here as a driver as well, and can't really go out and can't really do anything about the car that I have on the grid. Good evening to all of those watching in the YouTube chat. I do have you up. I am not missing anything that you say, because I have it switched on live chat as well. you know, like a sensible person, not like last time. Mr. Dan Lewis, good to see you. We will be well missed tonight. Dud, thank you very much for your insights and information already. They have been fantastically useful. But what I'm hearing is, if I go to different cars, I'm going to get very different very different noises. No? Oh. Now, telling the difference between those two is V10, I think. That was V8. Yeah, I thought it was a V8. I wasn't quite sure. I think this one's a V10. Yeah. I haven't lost my ears yet. Are the models all the same? The physical models? There's no other physical things that I can use. Ah. I think this one might be a V12. It's a very, very different noise. Ooh, and manual. That's terrifying. Yeah, V8's got a high straight noise, V10's a little bit lower. It sounds as though the V10 is even more soulful. Let's... Ah, V10 has a curved nose. High straight nose, curved nose. Gotcha. So those 4 minutes disappeared very, very quickly. Model 1's the Ferrari V12. I see. Yeah, so I can see a slight difference in the nose cone there. Model 2 Williams V10. Yep. Spot on. And Model 3 is... I take it Model 3 then is the McLaren model that we don't use. Oh no, it's the Benetton. Okay. Right. So yeah. So this is the Benetton. Yeah. I thought the shape looked familiar. It's been a while. Unfortunately. Yeah. Model 3 is the Benetton. Perfect. Right. They've put some more tyres on. Yeah. So DLC was not used. Right. And if I remember correctly, it's fast or something. Oh, actually, really, really critical times for Statue for the SSR team. 2 fastest sectors as he comes round Parabolica, which is interesting naming, will come across the line and will go lost out ever so slightly in that 3rd sector. Right. Model 2 Williams is by far the fastest. So, Statue hooking up all of... Actually, that's a really pretty car. Good grief. Yeah, that's the Model 2 Williams. Yep. I now see the difference quite a lot. There's a lot of difference between those nose cones, aren't there? But Statue having gone fastest last time in the 1st sector last time out, matches it in the 1st sector again. This could be provisional pole for SSR if Statue can get it all together. We'll come up to the 2nd split in just a couple of seconds. Oh, good grief, the Williams is especially quick. Even faster then for Statue. No longer the fastest times as JK goes even faster. Only 400ths in it. It looks as though it's just going to be... Oh, no, it's a mistake for Statue. In the Parabolica, I don't think he's going to get it. Go any further with 11 seconds to go. That's such a shame. So I was going to say is hold on. I did see a raised nose. So first of the raised nose is Salmonen. But that is, I believe, a wheel failure. Oh, no. That is just lag. That was a lot of lag. Wow. sure. I believe we may be getting towards the end of qualifying here, with the drivers having set all the times they are happy with. Looks as though we have got a lot of the same cars, with just a couple running the raised nose. Dorocco running one version of the raised nose, with Salminen running a different one. Pros running the lower nose, raised nose for Roy 33NL. Raptor and Grandpa Bear's running a raised nose as well. So we do have a bit of a variation in the... We do have a bit of a variation in the cars on track. Was Model 1 Ferrari, I think, yeah. But we will use this opportunity, this ever so slight break in proceedings, to have a look at the final standings for qualifying. JK takes pole position in the end with a 1 minute 12.344. Statue 1232 takes the position alongside him with a 112.560. Tex for Curb Clippers will take third position. Second row on the grid with a 112.867. Extremely tight in these old F1 cars. 113.2 was as much as Racilla could muster, but that's good enough for the second row of the grid. Evil Noodle will start from 5th position, 6th for Slayer 72, 7th for Tony Salomon in the first of the hang on, I'm now confused. The non-Williams car. There we go. Good grief. Busata will start from 8th position, 9th for Alpha Signal, 10th for Dustin for the SSR team. Linus Fallamental will start from 11th, 12th for Thomas Goodwrench. Jerry will start from 14th. Dorocco Mauro will start from 15th. 16th will be Pro. Glenel's 81 will start from 17th. 18th will be Roy 33NL. Raptor will start from 19th, and 21st or 20th when they get started will be Grandpa Bear. Odd that he was in the he didn't take part in qualifying. I didn't see any decisions made as far as a penalty or anything is concerned. Maybe he's just a little tiny bit busy. But we have a very, very quick and brief break, which is almost useful because it allows me to have a quick stop and drink. As everyone can probably see, hopefully can see, we are running on the Cascais track. That's probably terribly pronounced, but what we will know as is Estoril, a Portuguese track built in 1972, but not run it until 1975 was when it had its first race. Has fallen a little bit from graces in recent years, and has also played host to several F1 teams, both for the races in the 1980s and 1990s, as well as testing. And as you can probably appreciate, this is an ideal track for testing, with that very, very high speed, high load final corner, as well as all of the very tight and twisty corners through the infield and through the sector 2 section. Just getting onto that dud, thank you very much. First win for Ayrton Senna in 1985, so a special place in a lot of drivers' hearts for that particular piece of history. And again, unfortunately, it's been a little bit of a fall from grace in recent years. However, the track still exists. They're still running local races on it. I believe the WTCC was one of the last series to have raced here, as well as the European Le Mans Championship. JK is in the Williams. Yep. So, not that one. I can't even ready up. Yeah, so JK is in the Williams, so the top 6 are in the Williams. Gana's in the Ferrari, perfect. Starting to get, yeah, Model 1. Right, so Model 1 is Ferrari. Model 3 is, we said, the Benetton. Yeah, perfect. So I just need to be able to pick out the difference between... Actually, that is one hell of a performance, knowing that for Tony Salminen then. To get that 7th position in the Model 3 car. Gallinell's in... Yeah, so Model 1 is Ferrari, Model 3 is the Benetton. And then the Model 2 is Williams. Looks as though we do have an extremely stacked lobby. As for one less... And H pattern. Good grief. Model 3 with a weak engine. Simulating the Ferrari. Never would have thought that. Oh, no, that's the... Yeah, the Model 3, yeah. No, other way around. Benetton, that was the one. Actually, wasn't the Benetton always very good with their engines? Because I believe they're always customer teams. Anyway, I need to do some very, very quick button pressing. And we go to trackside and count down the slightest of wobbles from the leader, but they are away extremely cleanly as they come down 3 and 4 wide in the background in towards turn 1. It all looks fairly clean for the time being. Down to the back of the field, it looks as though I'm not seeing any smoke. There was one car that was off wide there. That was DeRocco. Oh, no. No sooner do I say it. Looks as though there was a little bit of a coming together. And again, is that... No, it's not Salminen who's falling down the timing screens. Yeah, it's Racilla from a very, very good start. And I think that'll be Signal in the background for the SRGP cars. Running what can... Actually, isn't that yellow and green remind me of a... doesn't that yellow and green remind you of... It was either a Benetton or BAR livery that was run as a one-off. Nonetheless, to the top of the timing screens, and it is, as you would expect, 4 cars within a couple of seconds of each other. The aero effect of the over-body downforce creating elements on these cars are going to make overtaking a absolute mission. Best opportunity we have at the moment is that in the form of Slayer 72. Let's jump on board with him on the right one. There we go. See how much of an impact the dirty air is immediately having. I mean, I wasn't trying to commentate a curse him, but you know, if that's how it's got to be. But at least they seem to all be fairly balanced against each other. BR Lucky Strike, that was it, perfect. British American Racing. As I say, I was quite a bit younger than I am now when BAR was driving. But yes, I remember that. It was amazing. Speaking of amazing, once again, we do have a massive variety of teams being represented over a vast minority of liveries. We do have a few teams that are taking the approach of Curb Clippers and AMSU, who have chosen to share the livery half and half, directly down the middle, BAR style. I think that's going to be the way that it needs to be called. And then others, such as Evil Noodle and with NRT, and I can't actually see what the other team is that they're sharing with. RRC, there we go. NRT and RRC together as well, amalgamating the two into a very, very beautiful tribute livery for us to appreciate. And it has to be on the defensives now. Does Busata against Dustin for the SSRT. Has set a time 7/10 7/10 faster than the car he's chasing, has Dustin. And while, again, all of this dirty air wreaks havoc for these highly strung, highly tensioned F1 engines, revving all the way up to 18,000, 15,000 RPM. Not like these silly little engines they have now in F1, where they can only rev as far as 12,000 RPM. It's not the same. Yes, Dad, I feel that pain. I was old then, I just didn't have as much of a memory. Signal chasing down Falamento here over 14th and 15th position. Falamento as well up behind DeRocco, who's one of the cars that we need to be watching because we know that he's running the Model 3, which is one of the rare ones. Looking behind, weaving left and right, trying to keep the car at bay in the dirty air. Just how much power these cars have once you take away some of that aerodynamic drag. But then we get to the twisty stuff and it all falls away again as the wings aren't able to do their jobs, tucked up underneath one of the other drivers. Big look now for a signal. It's going to be an easy one in the end. Linus makes it an easy pass. Perhaps there's more speed to be had from following the SRGP driver. Or maybe he's just sending him after the RPM driver of Raptor NL. I think it was this one? Yeah, this one's a fun view. We like this view. Brings back Formula 1 97 vibes. Oh, as the wings aren't able to do their job. Raptor gets a little bit of a drive away. But now what can Signal do? He's been running behind. Oh, it's a big look up the inside of Raptor there. Signal gets to the apex. They're still kind of side by side. Raptor gives up on the outside. That is a massive position gained for Signal. Into 11th position and up in towards the points. Let's have a see where the director wants us to go. Because keeping track of that's not what that's for. Come on. Whoa, big slide there. And again, Racilla, who was so much further up in the early part of this race, has had issues from lap 1, but is now starting to get back into the groove as he comes across the line. There we go. That's the times that we were looking for from the AMS2 driver. Beautiful livery on that, even if it wasn't curb clippers on the other side. Beautiful pairing of the two. Racilla making the car dance, and now really up into the dirty air of Jerry for SRGP. Is it going to be a brave look up the inside? Not as yet, it's not. Racilla letting discretion be the better part of valor. He's going to try and find a way past Jerry when it's convenient and useful for the campaign for the rest of the race. It's a big look to the inside, just getting in the mirrors of the SRGP driver. Nothing as yet. Round parabolic or Curvette and Senna. They go and onto the main straight. Immediately Jerry goes defensive. A little bit of a wiggle in and out just to make sure he knows where the other car is, and there's a big look to the inside as they come down into turn one. Racilla will have the arrow on the wings once again. Secures the place. Makes it look very easy. But that is not the work of a moment being able to have that much confidence in the car. Oh, and it's a big slide. It's a big slide for Racilla. Did he catch it? He did, but that's another car that's off on the inside. Is that... No, it's not Carazada. Glenal's just letting people past. It may have been... No, it's not Falamento. It could have been Dorocco that we saw there. We're already down a couple of drivers, it looks like. But we've just got to settle in a little bit. It's been a very exciting first section of this race. The drivers just have to get into their groove, find a place where they feel comfortable and run their laps to try and... Ooh, that's Racilla having some connection issues. That's not good, but he's definitely... Oh, he's fallen back. No, he's still ahead of Jerry. Come on. Now starting to make some headway into Tom Goodwrench. That's a very difficult situation for him to be in. Evil Noodle, meanwhile, closing up to Raptrenel for RPM. Two of the faster drivers in this competition so far seem to be struggling with getting to grips with these cars. Decent times coming from them generally. But still a little bit of a struggle. 40 laps in this race. We are just about to reach the quarter mark on the end of this lap for the leaders. And another big look under the draft. Who needs DRS when you have that much aerodynamic effect? Evil Noodle just taking a little bit more caution into turn one this time than we saw from, I believe it was Racilla. It was Racilla who absolutely sent it. Is this... Who's the... I see a car that is off to the side of the road, but I can't see... Oh no, we've lost another driver. That was it. Whoa. Was that actually... I don't think that was damage for Racilla there. I think that was just whatever the netcode is doing. Yes, that. Looks okay at the moment, but they will have an opportunity to pit for tyres and get any damage they do have replaced. Yeah, that looks all clean on the front corner. But now, SRGP versus SRGP. Alpha Signal has been on an absolute tear, made up several positions in the course of this race so far. And now, on teammate, I would suggest there wouldn't be as much resistance from Jerry as perhaps some other drivers on the grid. It's very, very close between the two, and Jerry pulls over to the side. Beautiful perspective as they come down the hill into Parabolica Interior. Really, really inventively named. Up towards Zorella, and then back down into another dip. Beautiful elevation on this racetrack. Much better than I remember. And then slowing for the S's so that you can get back onto the throttle through Parabolica. so difficult not to be silent when in the presence of an engine noise as great as that. The Rocco is close, but not the closest. Statue looks like he is falling back ever so slightly. Again, running into this pace setting. You can't take the life out of your tyres too quickly. You can't push too hard. All of that apex speed that you might be taking, trying to keep up with the leader and balance that act between keeping close and keeping out of the dirty air, it can take a big toll. So Statue just backing off to the tune of a couple of seconds. I have no doubt that he would be able to claw that back in should the situation demand it. But at this point in time, it's better to save the tyres, wait for the pit stop, and I believe there's a mandatory stop, if I remember correctly. I remember reading that there was a mandatory stop. Hold on. No. See, here we go. Having to look now. Tyres won't last anyway. There we go. That's the answer we needed. Thank you very much, Dan. Appreciate it. Dan, if you are around your PC, more than happy to have you in the com box. If you have anything more, any more insight to give us. If you're not by your PC, that's totally fair. This is an extremely specific class of car, an extremely specific class of track. Here we go. Signal, having gotten past his teammate, currently in the bath. Okay, maybe not then. I mean, the Eike would be on point. That's all good. The Eike would be on point. Let's not do any kind of visuals. Be thankful you're not on MVRC's stream. On Metz stream. But with the 1.6 update imminent, how long will we be looking at the 1.5 version of AMS2? It's extremely exciting to be approaching a time when one of the best physics models is possibly, maybe, if we are extremely lucky, getting a more or less remaster as far as it's concerned. Getting remaster is 8th position. Signal goes to the outside. Thomas Goodwrench makes it easy for the... Yes, too long. I totally agree. Tom Goodwrench making it easy for Signal up into 8th position, and now Racezilla is next on the block if he can't get the MSU car to behave to his liking. Yep, drops off a cliff from lap 16. Oh, that's difficult. Yep. So they have to take fuel because there's no refueling allowed. That very much locks them down to a tyre-only stop. I wonder if anybody is medium tyre compound an option here, or am I confusing myself? How are you typing in the bath? Phones exist. He's actually got his sim rig in the bathroom because there's no other space anywhere else. But you didn't hear that from me. What else have we got going on? Yeah, soft, medium, hard. So perhaps a medium start to account for the higher fuel load, and soft to run with the lower tub. Now, Dud, don't tempt me. I don't need another excuse to replace my bathtub. So, anyway, as we were getting strategy live from the pit wall? Pit tub? Something? Sure. Was that Slayer 72 just losing a position? Yep, Slayer 72 got it wrong. Racilla up to 6th position. Another car in between himself and Alpha Signal. Two very, very competitive cars here, having to work their way through some of the ever so slightly slower drivers by to the tune of like a second. It's not a lot in the greater scheme of things, and we are almost to that point where those soft tyres, if they are going to fall off, will fall off. MVRC Strategic HQ, yes. We need to fit a plumbing joke in there somewhere. MVRC Strategic Think Tank. There you go. And it is 16 laps, exactly as Dan Lewis has said. Into the pits for Racilla. Extremely early pit stop. Slayer 72 in as well, getting those soft tyres off. I was not expecting them to actually pit before the halfway mark. These tyres are going to be crying by the end of the race. Tex goes fastest first sector, has the fastest second sector of all at the moment. While the gaps have opened up, something chronic. Here is the soft tyre stopping working. JK has either been able to manage his tyre wear more or is running a medium tyre strategy, which makes that pace even more terrifying. There's a massive difference in the fuel weight. I see. Okay. That's okay. So soft is actually optimum. You don't need to worry about it being before the halfway point of the race. Gotcha. However, JK, now in the midst of lapped traffic, is going to be losing out time here. How long will the MVRC car be able to keep running with this dirty air? Or is it the strategy to take one lap less to have more tyre wear left at the end of the race? Beautifully slid past there. Jerry in from 9th position. And let's have a quick look here at how long this pit stop is. Only a few seconds, and a very, very quick very short pit lane and a very quick pit limiter as well. I think it's 220 kilometers per hour. The leader's in. Leader into the pits. Will stay with this for this pit stop and back out and straight back up to speed. That is an astonishing amount of pace. With Statue having looked like he's leapfrogged JK, it was a good strategy call. I think that's SSR in the lead. JK will have the better tyre life at the end of the race, but for the moment, SSR take the lead of the race with Statue 1232. What an interesting race we have on our hands now. An overcut or an undercut for Statue has worked to get him track position, but what can JK do with those extra couple of laps that he's got in the books under his belt? All of those adjectives to use in the closing section, closing half of the race. And what a terrifying prospect as well. Look at the top three, separated by 2.7, well, separated by 3 seconds. Oh no, it's 2.5. There we go. And here's Tex as well. JK tried to go to the inside of his teammate. Wasn't able to, well, and his teammate tried to jump out of the way. It wasn't meant to be there. Almost a very, very big collision. Very quick reactions there from JK. Roman, who is definitely on the top of his game. We are down to 16 drivers, still circulating on the track. This could well be points for all of the finishes in the very near future. Good grief, this is 1990s F1. I didn't mean it quite so literally. Now what we should do, as they're coming down the start-finish straight, let's actually jump on board with an onboard lap with the lovely rattle can, so that everybody can relive this beautiful 1990s circuit. Curva 1 is extremely quick for what it is. Curva 2, completely unnamed as well. Up through Lamy and avoiding the cut through that takes you, that skips the infield here through Curva VIP, which I wonder what those tents are. That's really quite an obvious name as well. The right-hand kink at turn 5. Nothing labelled, no label here. Parabolica interior, a very, very slow, looks like 3rd gear. Patience being the name of the game. Then up the hill and across the crest, see the other cars coming towards you. Down on the brakes into Orella. And back out onto the throttle as early as you can possibly can. More or less flat through tank. Yeah, sure. And then through the S's. A frustrating complex of corners where both front and rear tyres are pushed to their limits, and then thrown through Parabolica Ayrton Senna. The slightest of lifts on the throttle to try and keep the nose in position. And that's a lap on board with JK hunting down the leader, Statue 1232 in the SSR car. Also coming up to lapped traffic as well. Very, very difficult positioning here for JK. This is the problem with these sorts of situations, is you can be as fast as you want and as close as you want to the car ahead, and JK really is 0.6 of a second at the apex there. Has a quick look to the inside. It's not going to happen now, but he's getting close. Has Statue burnt those tyres too early? Did he not bring them in gently enough as far as the tyre warm is concerned? Is there blistering? All these questions and more we will be able to know when 1.6 comes out and we can actually see the blistering on the tyres. JK isn't human. Absolutely, totally fair. And across the line, 22 laps down, 18 more to go in this distance certain race. Running about 160 kilometers, if I'm doing maths properly. Yep, that's correct. About 160 kilometers the length of this race, and these guys are going to be doing it in about 50 minutes, all told. An astonishing rate of knots for these very, very technologically advanced F1 cars. Oh, no, wait, this was after that. But absolutely gorgeous to look at. Still look a little bit alien without the halo that we've become so accustomed to. Even the drivers are saying now how exposed they feel not having the halo protecting their head and neck. Statue is trying to get past the lapped car. Now it's going to be JK who's going to come across and gets... Lapped car gets right out of the way. That's lovely there. The absolute control on all of these drivers to be able to keep the tyres and the engines and the cars all in one piece. Absolutely fantastic. Not as exposed down. That's totally fair, Dad. Yes, I have no further. I have no notes. Although we won't ask him to do any further exposing. Here it comes, up through the S's. The gap is under a second. Can he get the traction off of the final corner at Parabolica? It's going out towards the second. It's out of the DRS range. What DRS? Ha! And down the start-finish straight, the aero effect is not quite that big, unfortunately. The MVRC car having to find its own way through the soup at 180, 90 miles per hour. What say the auto director? I think the auto director does also think that this is the closest battle at the moment. I'm inclined to agree. Signal has fallen back to 11th position through the pit stops, but has now got the pace to be able to push on ahead. And once again, the SSR car loses out in the twisty stuff through sectors 2 and 3. Sorry, just had to hold my breath there as JK has to make his way past one of the cars a lap down. That was Jerry for the SRGP team, so thankfully not a teammate, just a livery mate. But let's the top 3 through. Tex for curb clippers as well, on the hunt for that podium. A couple of seconds back in this fight. And I think this is the fight that this is the fight that we want to be looking at the moment. Everyone else seems to have drifted apart ever so slightly. I've told them before, if you want to get on camera, have some close fights. Find yourself someone to battle with and make it good. A few drivers having to make extra pit stops. Glenelg's still circulating in 16th position, so curb clippers almost topping and tailing the field. But now with a clean car, free of damage. That was very nice. I believe that's a V8. Go on, Glenn. Let's go. V12. Yeah. Yep. It's just a lot of noise. I remember the V8s being extremely noisy. But yes, V12 makes a lot of sense. It's a very smooth noise. But this is going to start to become a battle in the near future. It says it's 4 seconds. I don't think that's necessarily 4 seconds. Ah, yeah. Can't wait for the near future when we get to witness these in all their glory. Oh, what a noise. great as well. You can hear it echoing off the walls. Why wouldn't you want to drive this one? Roy's absolutely having the time of his life down here. Jump on board with him quickly. Go to the car behind. Ah! Got jump scared by an engine. What a noise! Yeah! I've got to be. I'm sorry. There's only so much you can do when in the presence of greatness. There we go. Because that one was V8, I think, and then that's V10. Or am I totally off? It's so difficult to place the noises when you haven't listened to them side by side in so long. Yeah, V10. Yeah. It becomes a listening contest so quickly. I can't. It's so nice to see these cars being circulated, even if virtually. Never ever ever gets boring seeing these guys doing what they do best. Who was that would just got past? I believe that would have been... No. There we go. Evil Noodle. Just got past our host. Let's see what the auto broadcaster wants us to look at. It's a big spin for Alpha Signal out of the final corner. Hunting down 9th position. Has already made a place on Raptor NL. But will make no further positions for the time being. Was almost in position to strike at his teammate once again. It's not going to happen this time by. JK with the fastest lap of the race so far. 1:14.764. First is the drivers around him with a 1:15.19 for Statue. And Tex with I saw a fight over 4th position very quickly. Racilla has finally made it back to the top of the field. Only one more position before he can make it to the podiums, to the podium positions, and massive points potentially for AMSU. Basasa having to give best to the AMSU driver. Look at how composed Racilla's looking. Just the tiniest of touches on the curb. And honestly, it's just nice to listen to. No further notes. But it is we're 3/4 of the way through the race now. I knew we were getting around that time. SSR lead the way with 1st and 6th in the form of Statue and Dustin. JK for MVRC is 2nd and 7th. A beautiful little bit of symmetry here for MVRC with Slayer 72 in 7th. Curb Clippers breaking that symmetry with a 4th and 16th at the moment for Glenelgs. But 5th for RRC. We've just seen that position lost for Busata. RRC also in 12th within the form of Dorocco Marrow. I apologise profusely, Dorocco. 6th for SSR is Dustin, as we already said. First of the drivers to have a teammate to back them up. Evil Noodle in 8th position for NRT, and I believe we lost one of the NRT drivers. Tom Goodwrench unfortunately lost out as well. Jerry for the SRGP team in 9th position. Signal still trying to catch up to his teammate in 10th. Raptranel in 11th. Dorocco Marrow, as we've said. That looked as though someone else departed the session. Could just be a lag. Grandpa Bear in 13th. Linus Falamanto in 14th. Roy 33NL in 15th and 16th for Glenelgs, as we've said before. Really good variety of teams in this one. Beautifully worked out, bearing in mind the names are all randomly drawn in this series as to which race you go in. Of course it pressed enter. Looks as though Glenelgs is getting onto the back of Roy 33NL again, but not in a major way. Again, I think this is just a pace difference. Glenelgs is about a second up on Roy 33NL compared to their last lap, but their fastest are extremely similar. 1:18.8 versus 1:18.4. At this sort of pace, it's going to be very difficult for Glenelgs to make any kind of meaningful position. As long as Roy can defend that 15th position strongly enough. We have another excuse to ride on board with the V12. It's a tighter line and a big wheel spin for Roy 33NL. That is the position. Almost made. Good grief. The kink at turn 5 was what saved Roy in that occasion. But Glenn is looking hungry. Statue may hit the cliff around lap 36. I would be inclined to agree with that, Dan. It's going to be a agonizing final 4 laps if the tyres have not lasted long enough. Now, Statue has had a lot of clear air with which he's been able to run away. Now, is that what is happening at the moment? Is Statue's trying to open up the gap? He's gotten through the traffic. Now it's push, push, push. Build a gap. He knows JK has less laps on his tyres. He's going to have grip to the end of the race, whereas Statue is going to have to defend. What will win overall as we get to the closing stages of this race? 6 laps to go as the drivers close in on that finale. we still keep our attention on this battle over 15th and 16th. Roy 33NL clearly has a bit of a tyre life issue. Number 1 community on MS2 with anything F1 did a season was severely mid-pack. So SSR have clearly done a bit of balancing and testing before they came into this race. But yes, I remember them saying that before. If they don't turn up for the Formula 1 races, and it's Roy 33NL gone round. No? Who was that was off on the outside? It looked like an RPM car. I wish we had more information. I don't see anything at the moment. It could just also be a ghost, unfortunately. But Roy 33NL pushing for all he's worth, trying to keep Glenn Alves behind. These points could make the difference. It's a big switch back to the inside for Glenn Alves, but nothing can happen. All over the mirrors. But now Roy 33NL will be rattled from a manoeuvre like that. He knows that the KCSR car has the directness. There's a big lag. I wonder if that was on both of our ends there that led to that slide. Through the S's. 4 laps to go. 5 laps to go perhaps for these drivers here. But it has the cliff come for the leader. JK with a 3-second delta to the car behind in the form of JK. You can see him in the background. Target acquired. The last lap was a 1:16.1. How much of that was traffic affected and how much of it was the tyres giving up? What's left in that car and what's left in statue? Oh, is that JK off in the background? No, it's not JK off in the background. Good grief. Right livery at least, though. That was Slayer 72 that lost out, and it looks as though he wouldn't have lost anything anyway. Quick, back to the lead. Across the line for the leader, 1:15.2. It's not there yet. That's another half a second gone. And up to 4 seconds for JK to have to try and claw back in these remaining 3 laps. What's happened? Roy has had issues, is what's happened. Yes, I agree. Oh, that's so unfortunate for Roy. Glenn Alves promoted to 14th in the end there. That's really unfortunate. What a good noise, though. And then teammates letting each other pass, signaled back up to 8th position. And that's all very close as well. I'm surprised that we didn't get more there. Here we go. I wonder if they did have a coming together. There's no signs of damage on the Curb Clippers car. We'll wait with bated breath to see if Roy comes in to say hi to us, and we'll ask that question if he does. We may be putting 2 and 2 together and making an apple. But it looks as though, for the most part, yep, Jerry is the closest to his teammate. The rest of the drivers just starting to look as though they're running out of steam. JK is getting so close into the second sector. Clearly has so much life in his tyres, but just not able to do anything about it. the SSR car ahead, back out to 4 seconds once again through the S's. It's going to be lovely, and it's going to close up through here as JK gets the grip, but it's just not coming good. Lap 39 is 2 laps to go. What can the MVRC car, what can the MVRC driver do about that SSR car in the lead? Is this just a consolidation for the points? Championship points are very much in the favour of MVRC at the moment, which I did see somewhere. I wish I was able to note where these things come from. This one. MVRC only behind Curb Clippers in the overall standings at the moment. So this could just be a case of taking as many points as you can. Curb Clippers not scoring as well as MVRC are in this server. We also have to consider the other server as well, as that is Slayer. That's not Slayer 72. Who's the other drivers running that livery? I can't for the life of me remember. 10 tenths. Where's the other 10 tenths car? Or is that Linus the only 10 tenths left? It is. But it looks as though we thought it might fall off. We thought the cliff might come, but there is no evidence of that whatsoever, as JK absolutely, well, JK loses out as Statue pins the throttle to maximum. 114.764 is his target. There's no fuel. Has he saved enough rubber to be able to take the fastest first sector? It is close. It's so close. 800ths off for the first time of asking. That was a statement of intent from the SSR driver. Back onto the throttle, over the crest of the hill, down in towards Sector 3, now back onto the main GP loop, and we will get to see in just a second. It's slow. It's not going to be the fastest of the day unless there is something absolutely magical in this final sector. There's plenty of room for improvement, but is this regardless of whether it's the fastest lap of the race, it will be a win for SSR. Once again, we throw wings on the cars and throw away the fenders, and SSR come good with an overall win in the AMS2 Community Cup. Roy's letting someone past him. He hit him up in the rear and spun, then someone ran into Roy's heel spin. That's so unfortunate. So unfortunate. Statue with the win. JK with a gallant second position. Parking off to the side of the road, understandably a little bit upset, but also what a drive to be able to live with the self-proclaimed Formula specialists. Tex will come across the line for Curb Clippers, scoring fantastically for the leaders in the championship, with Busata coming across for RRC in 4th. Fantastic showing for them for the 9th place team. Dustin will be the second SSR car, so a 1st and 5th for SSR, and what a finish for them. This is going to be a fantastic push for their championship hope. And I can actually bring my voice down a little bit now because I'm not shouting over V10s, V8s and V12s. Not that one. There we go. Slayer 72 for MVRC will finish in 6th. 7th will be Evil Noodle. Alpha Signal will finish in 8th. Jerry 9th. Raptor NL 10th. DeRocco in 11th. Grandpa Bear making fantastic work from the back of the grid to 12th position. Linus Falamento for 10 tenths in 13th. 14th will be Glenn Alves. In the end, Roy 33 NL won't finish, but will be, I believe, classified, thank goodness, for RPM. Racila Karazada having technical issues, and a few other drivers not being able to finish. That was the on-track action, and now we get to see and hear the drivers and how they came to have the finish that they did. Can I exit to main menu and will that save the results? No, it won't. It'll just stop working. That's fine. Let me close that out because now I need to go here and see who we're going to get first. Of course it is. There's only one man that we can have into the com box first, and that is... I'm in the wrong window. And that is Statue 1232. Man, we weren't sure about how the race was going to go in the early stages of the race, but that was a strategic call from start to finish. How was that for yourself?
I'm honestly surprised the undercut worked, because it was only 1 lap of a difference, and JK probably had a bad in lap. Although I'm not sure, I didn't see the entirety of this race, obviously, but it was tough. The entire race was difficult because, 1, the car is difficult to drive at the limit for extended periods of time. 2, it's a narrow track with not much runoff, and 3, there's lots of people being lapped because the pace difference between people is so big.
Yeah, of course.
So even when I was leading, I could never relax because 1 back encounter with a back marker and JK could have been right on me again. But actually, towards the end of the race, I started getting a bit calmer because I think he must have been on the softs because his pace dropped off quite massively towards the end. I was on the mediums on the second stint, so I went soft medium.
Yeah.
And it worked. I mean, he was a bit on me at the beginning of the second stint after I undercut him. But from the first stint, I knew that it was difficult following someone closely because the dirty air was pretty difficult to live in. So once I survived those first few laps after the pits, I was able to slowly but surely start pulling away, and it worked. My first win in the Community Cup. Pretty happy with that.
I was going to say, and what a place to take the win as well. Maximum kudos to you for nailing that, and again in such difficult conditions. But at least it wasn't raining.
Yeah, I guess it could have been worse.
Fantastic points for SSR. That's going to do you the world of good. For the
also, yeah, shout out to Dustin because he was in a slower car and he still managed to finish P5. So
hold on, here
really
we go.
Well done to him.
Here we go. We'll get him in as well because obviously you're both SSR. You're both the same team. Driving different cars is obviously one hell of a challenge to try and get, because obviously I'm part of a race team. You try and drive the same cars so that you can work together on the setups. If someone can't work something out, you work together to get the car working. How much of that was interrupted by by not being able to drive the same cars, or are you used to it at this point with the formula driving?
I think we were pretty much on the same page from the beginning. Because we knew where we want to finish, up high, of course, and we have been talking every day about setup changes and possible strategies and this kind of stuff.
Fantastic.
And actually, funny thing is, we decided this morning that I would go for the Benetton and start for Williams or Model 2 and I Model 3. And I haven't driven a single lap before the server opens in the Benetton or Model 3. So, good race.
that was an even more impressive drive then if you made that late switch. What was it that made you make the switch so late?
Because Starro is a bit faster than me, and we wanted to go for the win, of course. So,
of course.
I thought the win against JK is in better hands with Starro than me.
Makes total sense. Congratulations, SSR. That was one hell of a show. And you know me, I always love it when it's a strategic win rather than an outright pace win. Obviously executed the on-track perfectly as well, but it's all about that strategy, and clearly, as you say, the undercut working as intended. Is that what you were always going for, or did you have your strategy lined up and you're always going to pit on that lap?
There was still quite a lot of switching on strategy. I basically decided on the strategy this evening because I decided that I wanted to make sure I don't get swallowed up by the pack behind me, so I wanted to start on the softs.
Yeah.
The initial plan was to actually start on the hards and then see what happens, because I think in the shakedown I wasn't there, but looking at the times, I think JK pulled off a 0 stop. So we weren't sure if that was going to be something to try. So initially I wanted to have that option, still available.
Yeah.
But in the end I decided to just go for the softs at the start, and then based on how well they were holding up, I decided to go on the mediums around the lap where I thought the mediums could last till the end. And also it helped that Tex behind me has just pitted, so I wanted to cover him off.
Yeah, of course.
And at the same time, JK was still staying out, so that's opened up the possibility of undercutting him, which worked in the end.
Perfect. And it all came good in the end, as you say. First win, massive win for SSR as well. That's going to be points well deserved into your collective pot. And hopefully next time out we get to see even more of SSR on the podium.
Let's hope so. For me, the strategy was quite interesting because I also decided just before race that I will drive on softs. And I noticed that almost everyone around me was driving on hard, so I could keep up with Model 2s. So, okay, then I thought, let's see how far I can get with softs. And I pitted in lap 20, and I thought, okay, 20 laps with soft, and let's do another 20 set of laps with softs.
Yeah.
So that's how I almost got P4.
It was so close, it really was, and there was several times where it was very close to almost being a double SSR podium. Again, taking in the strategic plays, but there was a lot of chatter in the YouTube chat about which car's best, which one's fastest, which one's this, that, and the other, and it's taking that new car this morning and essentially making sure that Statue had the opportunity to win. Absolute massive props to yourself for taking that and playing the team game, because it's very easy to think I can do it, I can get there, when there's other opportunities available for you.
Absolutely, and we want to represent ourselves as a Formula 1 community, and I think in both races we just did that.
Absolutely. Well, I will make sure that I recognise Stream 1 didn't start. Oh, good. Okay. Thank you, Rocco. So... okay. So, that's annoying. That means that I can't watch it back. Cool. But nonetheless, brilliant race, brilliant finish. Massive amount of points in the pot for SSR. Glad to see you representing in the discipline that you want to be representing in. Hopefully, we get to see a bit more of you next time out. In round 7, which again, I can't remember. No. Oh, it's the Metal Morrows, the P3s. Perfect. That's
exactly.
Absolutely terrifying. So we're going from open wheel to almost open wheel. Lovely. Thank you very much, Dustin. I'll let you get back to the rest of your team now to celebrate, and thank you very much for dropping in and say hi as well.
Yeah, thank you for streaming.
It's my pleasure. When you bring the racing, I'll make sure it gets decent coverage. Cheers. Next into the com box. Well, we seem to be having the teams in together, so let's stick with that. JK, first of all, congratulations on that second place. It looked so certain to be a win with all of the strategic calls coming in from YouTube chat and the pace that you had in the early course of the race. you look so close to being able to snatch it away, but once again, SSR doing what SSR does.
Thank you very much. Firstly, congrats to Statue SSR. They did a great job. I had good pace. The car felt all right, but just got outclassed in the pits really. And it's literally like Monaco around here. You can't overtake. You get within a second. I just destroyed my tires. I went for the soft. Second stint was a little bit ropey. Felt quick, but couldn't really do anything with the pace. And then at the end, it was just a case of trying to actually finish because, I kind of got played into pitting a little bit earlier. I think I could have maybe extended to probably like lap 20, and then I could have used the soft even more in the last stint, but I don't think it was enough. I think Statue had me covered in that one, so good job for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, as heartbreaking, we saw you park up at the side of the track. I'm sure you're exhausted after pushing for that long and that hard.
Yeah. It's pretty tough. You just have to be focused. I think it's just you have to be so focused in these things, especially in the dirty air, and then you've got the traffic coming up. So yeah, it keeps you on your toes for sure. But it was a fun race. Really enjoyed it. And then it's good points for the team as well. P2 will take it, and Rob in the top 10. So it's happy days, really. Yeah,
absolutely. I was going to say, and again, Rob, I believe it was 6th in the end or 7th. The everything disappears too quick for me to keep track of.
Yeah, 6 in the end. I had a fairly good start. There's an incident in front of me. I think I started 6th as well. And one went off in front of me, and I got up to 4th. I think Noodle spun in front of me as well. So I was stuck there for a while. Stayed in touch with the podium for a bit, and then my tyres just started to go completely off. So I dropped back. I don't think I had the pace to get anywhere near the top 3 today. So still a good result for the team as well. So
yeah, and I think that's the kind of takeaway in the message from what we've had so far from people today is it's all about the team game and working together to get the team results. The individual driver results don't tend to play as much of a role. And with MVRC, if I remember correctly, running second at the moment. Give me a second to confirm that.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Second position. It's only a 40 point gap to get up to Curb Clippers again. Last season champions, if I remember correctly. Again, it's a lot. So, do you think that in the remaining races you can claw that back and get the points that you need?
Is that to me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have every confidence in our team. We've got some really fast guys. Drivers can swap in and out. I think JK's leading the way for us at the moment anyway, so I'd like to see him stay in the main seat, if you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got strength in depth. There's no reason why we can't close that gap pretty easily. I mean, we've got a bit of bad luck at the moment with Dan having serious problems with his connection, and we can't work out why, because he's another real contender at the front. But yeah, when I jump in, I just hope for as many points, maybe top 3. We went quite well in the shakedown for this event last week, come second to JK, so I was confident and I had pace, but he just wasn't there today. So, but on the whole, I think we got some really quick drivers in MVRC. I mean, a lot of the other guys have as well, but I think we've got like a good 5-6 top drivers that can get the points for us.
Yeah. Absolutely. Hopefully we do get to see that through the rest of the season. I'm now going to have to go and speak to the other side of that particular argument, as Tex showed extremely well. But thank you very much, both of you, for dropping by and saying hi, and thank you very much for putting on a fantastic show this evening as well.
Cheers, Ike.
Have a lovely evening, JK. And
thanks for the broadcast. Take care.
No, you're absolutely fine. And Rob as well. Thank you very much. Last into the comment box was third on our podium, and unfortunately lacking a teammate in the end as far as the standings are concerned. Tex, congratulations on the third position, but a little bit of a difficult evening for Curb Clippers, it seems.
Yeah, cheers, man. First of all, congrats to Stachu on the first win on the CC, and good second place for JK too. Yeah, it was pretty difficult. You could not overtake tonight. We knew that. So quali was very important. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the lap out. That's why I was, in all honesty, honestly just too nervous to perform 100%.
Yep.
And yeah, after that, so I knew I had to do an undercut. But unfortunately, on the first lap, I already fell back 2.5 seconds because I went side to side to turn one, and then lost like another second to blue flags. And then when the gap was pretty big for the undercut after that, I noticed as well the first lap, the out lap was not very particularly quick. The lap after was way more quick. So I almost got JK because he stayed out too long basically to cover the undercut anyway.
Of course.
And yeah, Stachy was just gone. I thought I'd maybe have a chance to undercut him, but he pitted 1 lap later, so I never got the benefit of that because I only went faster after the outlap basically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was all about track position, and after that I knew, basically after the pit stops, I knew okay, I'm just gonna cruise. Only way I get in other places when they crash. So yeah, that was it basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you wouldn't have been able to see this so far, but they were never really close enough to get into any kind of battle. It was more the blue flags that were playing the active role.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, it was JK who is an absolute, well, Dan Lewis described him as an absolute weapon and an alien in the YouTube chat, and SSR, who are by their own admission Formula Car specialists. So I mean, being best of the rest, I would count that as a fair win. And if it wasn't for the technical issues that your teammates were struggling with, it may have been even more points tonight. But you did your part.
Yeah, I'll have to M1 to be fair. So
Yeah.
you're already lost when you start in the M1. It's horrible in
Yeah.
comparison. But yeah, still I think on the other server we did at P3 and 4, so that's decent.
Perfect.
If we don't have too many big issues, we should be able to take it over the line for the constructors.
Yep, absolutely. I sincerely wish you all the best. Please pass my regards on to Curb Clippers as well, for all the times that I mispronounce your name. But no. Cheers for popping in, Tex. Thank you very much for giving us some fantastic entertainment tonight, and hopefully I'll get to speak to you again in the remaining races.
Yeah, have a good one. GG, Sahu.
Cheers, mate. Have a lovely evening. And I think that about wraps up this evening's broadcast. It was a race of highs and lows, some very difficult decisions having to be made throughout the course of the race, and even more tough racing to come as we take on the arguably only just more covered arches of the Metal Morrow P3s next time out at round 7 of the AMS2 Community Cup, where, all things being balanced and equal, I'll be back on server 1 and we will get obviously all of the random driver allocation streams. Make sure that you're subscribed to the AMS2 Community Cup channel. Make sure that you are following along with the championship. As 1.6 approaches, we may well be in a new era next time we come back to the AMS2 Community Cup. My name has been Cascais. You've been watching the Automobilist 2 Community Cup round 6 from Estoril. Thank you very much, and wherever you are in the world, be excellent to each other, and goodbye.